Good morning. Welcome to another KCC Devotional. Let's open our Bibles in Psalm 42 and we're going to read verse 9 and 10. I will say to God, my rock, why have you forgotten me? Why do I go mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? As with a breaking of my bones, my enemies reproach me, while they say to me all day long, where is your God? And here the psalmist once again is lamenting his situation. He's lamenting because of his circumstances. He's not where he wants to be. And we've said before, there are times where we find ourselves not where we want to be. And not necessarily because of anything that we've done, but that's how life is in a broken world, in a fallen world. We find ourselves going through battles, trials. We find ourselves with enemies who will give us a difficult time. And we see here the psalmist crying out to God once more. What does he say? He says, I will say to God, my rock, why have you forgotten me? And there's just a couple of things I want to bring out here. Notice that he refers to God as his rock. In the previous verses, we saw that he was referring to God by his covenant name, the name by which God had revealed himself, the name that we refer to as Yahweh, but we're not really sure how it should be pronounced. Anyway, we know that he was encouraging his soul, remembering that God is a covenant-keeping God, that he would sing to the Lord, that he would continue to encourage himself, build himself up, remembering God's covenant faithfulness. And again, he says here, he describes God as his rock. And yet still, look what he says. He says, why have you forgotten me? And I think we need to learn from this that, you can know that God is your rock. He's the one that sustains you through good and bad. But you can also have that sense sometimes of abandonment because of the things that you're going through, because of the circumstances. You can feel far from him. You can feel as though he's forgotten you. Of course, God does not forget you. The word of God promises us. The Lord himself said, I will never leave nor forsake you, let alone forget you. But you can feel that way sometimes. Notice that the psalmist is not afraid of pouring out his heart to his rock. He's not afraid of expressing how he feels to God. And neither should we be. We can approach him with reverence, of course, but we can be honest with him. Why? Because he already knows what we're thinking and what we're feeling anyway. So let me encourage you to open your heart to him. You may feel forgotten. You may be asking the same questions. He goes on to say, while they say to me all day long, where is your God? His enemies were reproaching him. His enemies were tormenting him because of the situation that he found himself in. And so though he knows, though he's crying out to God, though God is his rock, it shows us that battle is not over. The battle is ongoing. And the truth is that all of us, we have ongoing battles. We face ongoing battles, ongoing difficulties sometimes. And there's always somebody around to really challenge your faith. We've said this before, but to challenge you as to why you're going through these things. If your God is a good God, if your God is a faithful God, as you have said so, why is he allowing you to go through these things? Well, I just want you to understand that this is not something new, that these were real people who had real feelings just like you and I. They had real dark times, but how they responded should serve as an example to us. So yes, if you feel yourself going through that difficult time, if God is your rock, which I'm sure he is, then you can cry out to him. You can pour your heart out to him. Bring these burdens before him. The word of God says, cast your cares upon him, your burdens upon him, because he cares for you. That was the case for the person in this psalm, and it's the case for you and for me. God is faithful. I hope that encouraged you today, and I hope it encourages you to take these things before the Lord in prayer. May God bless you. Have a wonderful day.